Hey everyone, welcome back to another Chinese grammar lesson. Today we're talking about two super common Chinese words, neng and keyi. Now, both of them can mean can in English, and that's exactly why learners get confused all the time. Because in English, we just say can for almost everything. Can I come in? Can you help me? I can swim. I can speak Chinese. Same word. But in Chinese, you cannot always use the same word. Sometimes you need neng, sometimes you need keyi. And if you use the wrong one, your sentence can sound strange, too direct, or even a little rude. So today, we're going to make this really simple. By the end of this lesson, you'll know exactly when to use neng and when to use keyi. All right, let's get started. So first, here's the big difference. Keyi is mainly about permission, agreement, or politeness. Let's look at a real example. Imagine you're outside someone's office and you want to go in. You could say, 我可以进来吗? Or, 我能进来吗? Now, technically, both are correct, but the feeling is different. 我可以进来吗 means, may I come in? It sounds polite, respectful, very natural. You're asking for permission. But 我能进来吗 feels more like, can I come in? Is it possible for me to come in? More casual, less polite. So in most real-life situations, especially with strangers, teachers, bosses, or older people, 可以 is the safer choice.能is mainly about ability or objective conditions. That's the core idea. Keyi asks, is this allowed? Neng asks, is it possible? Or do I have the ability? Very different feeling. All right, now let's talk about keyi first. Keyi is super important in daily Chinese. The basic pattern is subject plus keyi plus verb. And there are three main uses. Use number 1, asking for permission. For example, 我可以坐这里吗? May I sit here? Very natural. Another one, 这里可以拍照吗? May I take pictures here? Again, you're asking if it's allowed. This is one of the most common uses of 可以. Now, use number 2, giving permission. For example, 你可以进来了. You may come in now. Or, 你可以不用来. You don't have to come. That's interesting, right? 可以 can also give someone permission not to do something. Very common in Chinese. Now, use number 3, making suggestions. For example, 你可以试试看. You could give it a try. Very soft, very natural, not a command, just a suggestion. So remember, 可以 feels polite, friendly, and respectful. All right, now let's move to neng. Neng is different. Neng focuses more on ability, conditions, or possibility. The basic structure is the same, subject plus neng plus verb, but the meaning changes. First use, ability. For example, 我能说中文. I can speak Chinese. This means you have the skill. Another example, 他能跑得很快. He can run very fast. Physical ability. Now, second use, objective conditions. For example, 太晚了,不能出去. It's too late. Can't go out. The problem is the situation. The conditions don't allow it. Another example, 明天我能来. I can come tomorrow, meaning my schedule allows it. Again, this is factual, not about politeness. Now, third use, casual permission. For example, 我能进来吗? Can I come in? This is okay. Chinese people do say this, but compared with 可以, it sounds more casual and less polite, kind of like the difference between may I and can I. All right, now let's compare them side by side. because this is where things really become clear. First, 我可以进来吗 versus 我能进来吗? The first one is polite permission. The second one is casual possibility. Another pair, 你可以帮我吗? Could you help me? Very polite. Now compare that with 你能帮我吗? Can you help me? This sounds more direct, more casual, like asking a friend. Another example, 这里可以抽烟吗? May I smoke here? Permission, very natural. Now compare that with 我能说三种语言. I can speak 3 languages. Ability. You would not use 可以 here because you are not asking permission to speak languages. You're talking about your skill. So here's a super useful shortcut. If you are requesting something from another person, especially politely, usually use 可以. If you're talking about skill, ability, or conditions, usually use neng. Honestly, this one rule solves most problems. Now, let's talk about politeness for a second, because this part is really important. In Chinese, 可以 is more polite than neng when asking for permission. Always. 可以 shows respect. It acknowledges the other person's authority to allow or refuse. That's why it sounds softer and more natural in polite situations. So if you're talking to a teacher, a boss, a waiter, a stranger, an older person, go with 可以. It sounds much better. All right, let's wrap everything up. 可以 is about permission, agreement, polite requests, and suggestions. Think, may I, or is this allowed? Neng is about ability, objective conditions, or casual possibility. Think, am I able to? Or is this possible? And here's the easiest memory trick. Asking politely, use 可以. Talking about skill, use neng. Simple as that. All right, guys, that's it for today. If this lesson helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Chinese grammar lessons. And now it's your turn. Go to the comments and make 1 sentence with neng and 1 sentence with 可以. I'll read through your examples and maybe even correct a few of them. See you in the next lesson.